thing is, though, now that you say that, I can't unsee it. You're absolutely right.
The reclaimer, let's talk about that first, because I was going to go in a totally different direction.
You can make as much money as you need and work your way towards any ship in the game.
They were trying to cash in off of that nostalgia and that hype.
Open Comms Radio.
Your Star Citizen radio show.
Yeah, we're back. All right.
Dav, tell them how back we are.
No, we're so back. It's so back. We're so back. There's
gosh.
tons to talk about. You got tons of you had quite the laundry list of Star Citizen happenings to go over. So
We will not disappoint this evening in terms of news, things we have to talk about. A lot happens. You step out for 1 week in the middle of summer thinking, oh, all my joy is gone. I'm just gonna go outside, sit in the sun, sit by the pool, go on a hike. I don't know what you did, Tav. What did you do on your day off?
that was for the 4th, you mean? I mean,
For that Wednesday.
yeah, I survived.
What'd you do on the 4th?
I made a ridiculous amount of gumbo, about 35 quarts.
35 quarts of gumbo. Who'd you feed?
Not that many people. I've been giving gumbo out to every neighbor on the block. So
Really?
yeah, no,
Wow.
I mean I still got it. So I'm gonna eat gumbo for another week or so. But anyway,
Yeah, very good, dude. I wish I got a little bit of gumbo. I didn't eat too much, honestly.
yeah, did you have a fun time?
I had a fun time. I watched the fireworks.
There you go.
You know, it was good. It was chill. But the whole time I was just thinking, gosh darn it, if I could watch fireworks in Star Citizen.
It depends on who you fly with, right? And they'll happen.
Well, I'm excited and happy that I didn't get banned.
Oh, sounds like a story.
No, I didn't do anything. I just heard that a lot of people were getting banned.
Oh,
there was
from the Star Citizen?
Permanent ban. Did you see this?
I'd heard the cheating conversation being that seems to be everywhere for a second. But no, I hadn't heard anything about any ban waves.
Oh no. They permabanned. Xylo posted on Spectrum because they had a big post and they're like, basically, this stuff stinks, so we're gonna start policing it. Bada bing, bada boom. Everyone's banned. And then chat was like, "You mean banned for like 2 weeks?" Like, and they're like, "No, everyone who was hacking the game is permabanned."
Dang. Well, yeah, that'll. I mean, that's coming down hard on it, which is
Great.
yeah. I mean, great. I mean, I guess I presumably there's these are evidenced, and some of these are exploits. Like I don't know. I'd be curious to see how heavy-handed they were being with it, how egregious the offenses are. But
I don't care, dude. If you're hacking in the game,
yeah, if you're hacking, like
get out of here.
Yeah, if you
What
got
are you doing?
hacks, yeah,
It's a video game.
Get
Don't
out
you
of here.
watch a movie? You know what I'm saying? Make a TikTok.
Do literally anything else.
Do anything other than popping into my game. Our game.
That's interesting.
Everyone's
Well, that's good. Hopefully that cleans up then. I mean, I imagine that goes hand in hand with like the cheating conversation that's been everywhere.
Well, yeah, that was a response to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, all in all, positive. Thumbs up. Thumbs up right from the beginning. You wake up one morning, you give a good thumbs up.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? What else was on the news? I mean, that sounds like a pretty finger on the pulse.
I have something else for you. Right here, Tav. And for those of you listening, I've pulled up the Star Citizen Economy Feedback Survey. Now, Tav, it's come to my understanding that you have not completed this survey.
I have not. No. This is kind of more or less looking at this with fresh eyes.
So we're going to do something a little different on Open Comms today. Of course, we're going to take our callers like we always do. If you want to call into Open Comms, you can join our Discord. It's linked on the YouTube and Spotify and wherever you're listening to this, you'll find it. You can join us on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. And what we do here is we just take callers and people come in and tell us what they think. Every week we have a question. This week's question was going to be about the hacking, but I had a little inspiration. So this week's question is, what did you say on the economy survey? And
Oh.
Tav, you haven't said anything yet.
Well, right, because I guess we'll have to take it or something.
So what we're gonna do tonight is we are going to fill out Tav's survey
Okay, yeah. This will get
live
me
on air with the help of all of our callers. Is that your name? What's your name on Star Citizen?
Tavaros.
Tavros. Like this?
Doxed.
TAV.
Yep.
Doxed. Well, we've doxed just about everyone on the show.
That's true.
So Tav, I'm gonna do you a favor here.
Okay.
Since it is your survey, I'm gonna let you answer the first question.
On average, how many hours a week do you play Star Citizen? Ooh, I don't know. Well, it really depends because some weeks, not at all. And then some weeks it's 10 to 15, 20. So I don't know. Put 5 to 10, 10 to 15.
5 to 10?
Yeah, let's go
I think
5
5 to 10 is
5
reasonable.
to 10. Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds
that's reasonable.
10 hours is, yeah. All right, yeah.
Yeah, I like
It's a
that.
couple events.
Yeah, that feels good to me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull up our callers. I don't know who was first on this list, Tav. Did you see who was first today?
Oh, I did not see who's first today.
Oh
You're
my
just going to have
gosh.
to
Chat, let me know who was first today.
Chat.
Chat, who filled out the economy survey?
we got a hobo.
Hobo was first today. So we're gonna pull up our good friend and spoiler connoisseur, Cosmic Hobo. Cosmic Hobo, welcome to Open Comms Radio.
Back to the
Hello.
show.
Thank you.
Thank you for stopping in. First order of business is, do I sound good? I'm using a new mic today.
Yes, you sound good. You opened quite loudly, but you sound good.
I turned it down a bit. I got your text. I got your chat. I got the chat. Tav, you want to ask? Let's ask Hobo his question.
Oh, you going right down the list? Roughly how much alpha?
No.
Wait.
The question, Hobo, is what did you say on the economy survey?
Oh yeah. So that's how we're gonna do this. Gotcha.
Yeah. In one sentence or less, Hobo, what did you say on the economy survey?
I played probably a lot and was really looking forward to base building to funnel all my resources into going forward.
I see.
We need that. We need that money sink. We need that time sink. We need something to work towards. I know multiple guests have brought this up before. I know Rob has, Murph has, even Wicked has, like everyone has at some point or another brought up that we need base building. We need things to work for and work towards. And on that free response question further down, I don't remember if it's on this page or not. It brings up the open-ended. If you had an infinite amount of UEC and all the items in the game, what would you do with it? And my answer was pretty much focus on my own bases, the org's bases, and then I would just like sponsor race teams. Even though honestly I hate racing. I'm terrible at it. I don't like it. It's boring. But I want that nice rich guy feeling of sponsoring a race team.
Oh yeah. Oh, you want that rich guy? You want that F1 feeling?
Yeah, I was thinking like horse owner feeling, but yeah, the modern race team, like you sponsor a racehorse, you sponsor a race team. It makes you feel fancy, like, and especially since it's something I hate doing myself. I hate racing. I would much rather throw money at a race team for them to do it for me, essentially.
That'd be fun. So yeah, that was kind of the answer for what was it? How do they fit your Star Citizen fantasy? I think was the
Yeah. You have
question.
you have infinite UEC, infinite. You have like all the items in the game. What would you do with it? Like the last thing I said at the end, of course, was a nice like, oh yeah, I'd also like start a fund to help new players get their first non-starter ship.
Nice. Okay.
I like that idea. So overall, how'd you feel about this survey?
Fine. It was. I know some people are like feel bad that it's like, oh, or is this because they don't have plans for the kind? I don't think that's quite right. I think they want to get kind of a vibe check of what we expect of the economy. or what it's like right now, which of course is kind of crap right now. It's not immersive, it's not reactive, it's static, and anytime it does change, it's very much trying to avoid exploits for the event. It's not a true supply and demand economy in the slightest. It needs that though. It needs that, and it needs player interaction, and it needs, like, one of the things was asking about, like, free trading, spending just your UEC to buy commodities and just take them somewhere else and to sell them. There's no real point in doing that right now because there's no trading to be involved. Like, if you want to make money hauling, you do them via the missions or you do them through the events. There's just no economy really to speak of at this time, which makes an economy survey kind of a little misleading since there just really isn't one, because it's not dynamic. An economy is dynamic. It has multiple players, it has multiple actors, it has multiple systems involved, all interlaced and interacting. Things have price, things have costs, and it's just a real economy is much more interesting to watch you.
What do we think the next iteration is going to be of that economy? I mean, was the crafting, because
Basic supply and demand. They're going to probably get that in before crafting, is the idea that prices will change. That's right now, prices don't really change. Like, supply can change. Like, you go somewhere and there's too much stuff so they don't buy anymore, but the prices of stuff don't really change.
is this maybe a stale comment? What is it? Quanta? The
Yeah,
little
quanta. Yeah,
A
yeah.
back end that's
They don't
supposed to
call it
have
that
like.
anymore, I don't think, but
Oh, okay. Is
I
that
don't know
still
what
a
exactly,
thing? Or are they
like
still kind of
assistance
pushing
and
to this? I just haven't heard it mentioned in so long. This kind of simulated economy that was
yeah,
kind
I
of
think
going on in
that's
the back
still the
end.
goal. And to be clear, the goal was never Eve level, where someone could drop like 5 shiploads worth of something or other, let's say titanium, and crash the economy of a whole solar system. Like, you could do that in Eve. It was pretty easy to do once you got to a certain point, and different corps would do that. Star Citizen has, at least last that they've ever even spoken on this, has always had a big skew towards the NPCs playing a bigger, aka them, CIG, having a bigger control over the economy than the players. The ratios have gone around for different numbers every now and then. It used to be something like 90% NPC interaction, 10% player. I've heard a couple others, like it's gone as high as 30%, I think, whenever someone said it. I don't know if CIG fully knows yet. We'll see. But the idea at the end of the day is, while players could bring in 5 shiploads full, like a whole D worth of titanium to some small system and crash the prices, it's probably not going to be that big that players can have on that, but they'll definitely have like certain ways to game the system, or at least influence it in a significant manner. Just not
Mhm.
that significant.
Well, I did put for my portion of this survey, is there was a question, and we'll get to it, that was like, how much of players should affect the economy, or for how long should like player events affect the economy? And I put forever,
I
because I want that, like, yeah, until something
Yeah,
changes. That's how it is.
yeah, I strongly considered that answer, and then I thought about it, because I thought about how markets react and a player interaction, and how they had originally pitched the economy of being that kind of lopsided influence. So I thought I ordered, I said shorter. I did, I think, like a week, because that would be a long enough time for an actual economy to snap back to equilibrium, depending on what we're talking about. Like, it was a vague enough question that I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do with that.
Okay, Hobo. Well, I hope you're sure about what you did for question number 3. of the Star Citizen Economy Feedback Survey asks roughly how much UEC do you have in your in-game bank account?
I was kind of surprised by how low they went here. I mean, I have about 9 million, 10 million roughly, depending on, I did some payouts on Sundays to people, so I just have less, but around 9 to 10 million, thereabouts.
Wow. Tav, what do you have?
Between 100 and 500K.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Okay,
I'm
we will
rolling in it.
we will reconcile this with 1 to 3 million because that's how much I have, and I'm in the middle. So
Y'all are just heavy hitters
And
over here.
and I bought a lot of ships at the beginning of this patch. Or
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Wow, you're in there a lot. Well, our next guest, Lord Anubis, I believe, is in there a lot as well. I'm gonna pull up Lord Anubis here, our second caller. If you could scooch down the couch there, Hobo.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Lord Anubis, welcome to
Welcome back to
Open
the
Comms
show.
Radio.
Hello. And thank you for picking me out of order again. I appreciate that.
Well, I just figured this is the way it's gonna be today.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah,
Yeah, we should get Wicked on first before you got me.
No, Wicket can wait. He's there.
What?
He'll wait. He's there. Look at Wicket's. He's on every show. Okay, we know him.
But he
We
was
love him.
first.
Look, man. I don't want to rat out on Wicket, but I know as well as anybody else that Wicket has not been playing Star Citizen.
He has been dooning it up.
He's been doing it up.
he's been doing it.
The
Oh, yeah.
solid dune.
Doing in day in and day out. So we're going to get to Wicket. Okay? But for now, Lord Anubis, this is your time. This is your moment to shine. And this is our moment to ask you, what did you say on the economy survey?
Did I get the email somewhere? Where is it?
Oh,
I looked for it and I did not get it. So I don't know.
That's all right. Yeah, I was seeing it for fresh eyes too just now. So
Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious as to where to find it because I would
on
think
Spectrum.
it's on Spectrum.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat though.
That's a great way for them to spread something like that instead of like sending an email to everybody.
well, I bet we will get an email sooner or later. Usually things kind of flood out on Spectrum before they get on into the newsletter or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
that's too official, you know.
I
The
mean,
newsletter
looking at
goes
these,
out to everybody.
That's true.
Only haters and weebs are on Spectrum.
Yeah.
I think mostly
Well,
haters.
I mean, I will say, looking at this, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but honestly, none of it means a thing. I think this is they put out a couple videos again. They made a bunch of promises. They're sending a survey to ask people for things that they should have answered years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you like doing the most? Well, like, you kind of put the only things in the game that we can do because we don't have anything else, and so it really doesn't matter what we think, you know. And I mean, these are things they should have known. What earns you the most UEC, right? It feels like they're trying to find a reason to not implement
Yes.
an economy.
That question to me was so weird. It was, we'll get to it, but it was like, what missions make you the most money? It's like, how do you not know that?
Mhm.
Like, how, like, you know what the missions pay, so you ought to know what missions give you the most money. I don't think that's what they were trying to go for, but yeah, there were a couple questions like that, and I'm like you should know this. You know this better than me.
Yeah. I mean, it really does feel like this is more of a survey on the how do you like the theme park we set up? All the rides we set up that you can go on your little ride and do your little adventure, but it has nothing to do with an economy for real. That's the most frustrating thing. Nothing here is actually And I think this is the last part. Do you currently engage in or have interest in free trade using your own UEC to buy goods at one location and sell them for a profit at another? Hauling for profit. Like, really? Why are they asking that?
I think that's the biggest thing right there, because that seems like, as far as tier 1, tier 0 implementation, as far as, I mean, that's the basic. Is that profitable? I know a couple traders, and they've said they've gotten a little bit of, taking stuff from here to there. So I know there's still people that do the trading gameplay. When I did it last, it was just, okay, this is not that, like, it's a lot of time for not a huge profit, but is it where, I don't know where trading is right now in the game.
I don't think it's in a much different spot than when you last did it. It hasn't
And
changed
they're
much over the years.
and they're not asking about player to player. They're asking, do you do it in game with the little missions we provide you to just earn money? I mean, none of this is actually about a real economy where the end game is not constantly going to these little things and collecting money in order to buy a ship. The end game is trade. The end game is, I'm the best. Like, I worked my way up to make the best weapons, the best armor. People come to me, they pay more because it's that good. And I need these good supplies. It's an economy. It's a real thing. There's marketplaces, and they're asking none of this. And that's disappointing considering the video that they put out, where they're supposed to be promising all this stuff, and they've asked nothing about it.
Is there not is there a system in game now though, when, so if somebody, because we have that a little bit with weapons, right? Somebody can go to a station and buy up all the the ammo of a certain type. So there's a quantity there, right? And I'm assuming that's there for trading as well. I just don't. Couldn't we just tweak these numbers? And they have, there's a back end system for this, right? That says, hey, there's X amount of like laranite or something at this one location. Is
There
that in
barely
there?
is. There barely is.
It's only
They
on the supply side, like I said. Like, there's no changes in price. If there's no changes in price, there's no supply and demand's a two-way street. You need one and the other. If you're only doing one, there's no point. You're not getting any sort of dynamic economy that you need to have, an economy.
basic fundamental MMO things that they're still leaving out of the game, including player tags. I don't know who's standing 6 feet in front of me. I can't trade with them. I can't trust a trade because there's no way to trade safely. And they're asking about how the rides are. Yeah, it's all fluff.
Maybe I hear you about like it being it seemed out of place, but maybe that's not the information they're trying to grab. Right? Maybe this to me seems like maybe it's just like a scale of like what's fun. Maybe they're just trying to measure fun. But that begs the question is like, why are there questions about like what missions make you the most money? Because some of the questions I felt were asking me about fun, and some of the questions I felt were asking me about things they should know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they do know it, and those questions are honestly pointless. They're just trying to figure out what we think makes more money, what we think we like to do. Like, it's not necessarily
So they can make fun of
based.
us.
Yeah, they need
Yeah, do
more
Christmas party.
fuel for their parties and stand-up
Mm.
sessions and roasting the players.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I get it. I understand that.
Look at these dipshits
also,
that like doing free trading. Idiots.
Anubis.
I mean, and how do we verify that? Okay, well, we've got the information. Okay, cool. What do you do with it now? I don't know. I guess we already had different plans in place, but now we're asking this for some reason. You
Mm.
know, and if you look at the chat, or not chat, but if you look at Spectrum, where this is posted, I'm just like scrolling down through this page, and almost everybody is saying the exact same thing. I mean, if they were hoping to do something here, it backfired really big.
Really? Well, I don't know if Spectrum is the
Yeah,
barometer by
Spectrum.
which we measure,
Anything.
any
It
anything
just
When you
else.
doesn't. It
get
just doesn't feel like a very time-oriented survey. Like there's this exact survey I could have taken 8 years
Right.
ago, and it would be
Well,
the
yeah,
exact
more or
same
less.
questions.
Well, so here's a question for us, and Lord Anubis, I want you to take a stab at this one. It's a drag to rank question. So I'll ask each of you, and we're gonna just try to figure out our top 3 and maybe our bottom 3. So drag and rank your favorite in-game activities. Top is the favorite. So we have FPS combat, ship combat, hauling missions, courier missions, PvP bounting, salvage missions, mining, free trade. That's using your own UEC to buy something at one spaceport and sell it for hopefully a profit at another location. Sandbox gameplay, that's contested zones, Stormbreaker. We have a definition now. And temporary release specific events like Save Stanton.
They
Which-
don't have arguing with people in global on here.
That's PvP bounties. That's a false.
Yeah.
So Anubis, what would you say your top 3 favorite activities?
I mean, sandbox gameplay obviously is always fun, but again, that you're going back to those rides. PvP bounty missions, if they actually worked, are the most fun that I have. I mean, they're a type of role play PvP that can earn you some money and is also tends to be a little bit more, I want to say more honorable PvP, because people like they understand what they're coming into. It's not just someone ganking someone randomly. This is like you're kind of setting it up. It's kind of like going over in another game. So PvP bounty missions, and then after that, free trading. I do like the idea. Now they're using free trading differently. They're calling that taking cargo from one place, going to another place that you bought it and then you go trade it there. I mean, player to player trading. Honestly, I actually love the fact that I can help find, crazy things, sell them to someone. They got crazy things. I buy this and we move it around. It is the hint, and it's the only part of the real living core of it right now.
Okay. Hobo, do you have, if you could make one change to this top 3, what would you say?
I would put temporary events at the top.
Temporary events.
Sandbox at the top, then temporary events.
All right, so I'll swap temporary up here for a minute. And then Hobo, why don't you give us your bottom 3?
Oh, that one is pretty easy. Hauling, courier, and free trading.
Ooh, you put free trade on the bottom? All right, I'm going to move it in the middle for a second. We're going to see where Tav, this is your survey after all.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, sandbox gameplay. I think the list actually, as it is now, looks pretty. I haven't done a whole lot of bounty missions, but I'm sure that I'd love to see that work. So,
well, it sounds like everybody put sandbox in the top 3, so I'm going to put sandbox number 1 for us. Okay. Now the next question is the one I had maybe the most trouble with: is drag to rank your in-game activities that earn you the most UEC. I mean, real quick, what do we think earns us the most UEC?
The temporary events.
Temporary events, right?
A year ago, that would be a totally wrong statement because they used to pay just dog shit. But then they changed it up, and now they pay so much better.
And what pays the worst?
Sandbox gameplay, by far. You don't get any money.
Doesn't
for
pay
that.
anything. Usually,
Ever.
I mean, you pick up loot and stuff, and you get like valuable items. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh well, does that count as making money? And maybe that's where they were going with this. But all right, well, Anubis, if you could scooch on down the couch there, we have time for our
No,
third
someone
guest.
peed over there. You make me sit.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, Tav.
Yeah, we'll get
You have
somebody.
a towel?
It's mostly just water.
Mostly
Actually,
water. Thank you.
Lord Anubis, did you come prepared today?
Did I? Wow. I mean, right here in front of everybody.
Well, I just think this would be the appropriate moment.
Oh! You meant commercial. I thought you were talking about something else.
Oh,
Anyways,
no, that's the next show.
It's the After Dark special.
Yes. So one of the things is we've been talking about hauling, and Covalex is one of the sponsors. Did you know that?
Of this show?
Yeah.
Well,
And they sent us over a little blurb.
okay. Yeah, you got that
So yeah,
on Spectrum?
here we go. Yep. Let me go ahead and pop this over here. Okay. So they sent us it's 5 p.m. You've been waiting for a critical part to get the job done. So our job is to make sure you can. Our army of independent delivery people, our network of reliable drop facilities, all in place to ensure that your day ends how you need it to, when you need it to. Covalex, count on X.
That was a
Negative.
really good ad.
Pretty sure.
They're
notes.
not as funny as the other people.
Oh, yeah, Covalex is very serious. Well, because you want them to be if they're delivering your packages.
Or if their
All
station
right.
gets completely destroyed and you lose all your packages.
As well.
And they
So,
don't
we're all
need to regret
scooched
that.
down. Do me a favor, Anubis, sit in that pee,
Ugh,
and we're gonna
that's a
bring
nature's
up.
miracle.
You know him, you love him. Open Comms Radio's most persistent guest, Wicket.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show.
Citizens. Long time listener.
Hello.
21st time caller.
22nd, right?
No.
Is this 21? No, this is 22.
Every time.
I don't know. You're using that new math, that galactic math.
Bro, here's the thing.
No.
I
Gaslight
physically
each other.
counted them.
Terra firma bound.
I no. I went. I spent.
The old math.
It took me like 40 seconds
Mm.
to count all these episodes, and I counted.
I have a
them.
list. I have a notepad list that I have to keep because I'm getting old. I can't remember these things. So
That makes sense. You write big.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, Wicket, we're glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
What did you think, Wicket, with this economy survey?
I think I'm gonna give a little different spin on the whole survey, if I might.
Fire, we're
So
ready.
obviously, almost all the information except for the subjective stuff, and like the last question of the survey, all of the stuff they could have easily data scraped it from their databases and gotten clear and concise information. I think this survey was more about what the player base, they wanted to get a pulse of what the players thought of, whether it was what the perception is, not necessarily what's the actual real thing. Obviously, there's no economy yet. Obviously, some of these questions are a little topsy-turvy. I think really the point is missed, that they just wanted to know what we as players think these answers are. Not necessarily what the correct answer is. It wasn't a test. It was just a survey. They just wanted to figure out, okay, what do you guys think is the best way to make money? What's your favorite activity? That's all they want to know. And sometimes you could look at it like from the lens of what Spectrum had said and said, oh, obviously they should already know all this stuff. Why are they doing the survey? Seems like a waste of time. But I think everybody's missing the point. This is our time to chime in, and in a more official manner. I don't know how you want to, what the calculus
Like a
there.
temperature check, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
basically, get the pulse of the community and see, are they working on the right stuff? Are their efforts in the directions that they're pushing most of their efforts right now for the PU? Is that being well received, et cetera, et cetera? I think this was, like you said, a temperature check, a pulse check, whatever. As far as the main thing that I tried to tell them is that they should make Cruz Lux real, and that would make the game a lot better.
Homie, you trying to burn a hole in my wallet?
I'm not drinking that if I see that at the grocery store.
But I did write a little paragraph at the end, that end question, and basically, in a nutshell, I mean, I'll read it to you if you want, but in a nutshell, what it all boils down to is that I want my time in this in Star Citizen's universe to matter. That my actions matter.
Yes.
They're valued. That there is a reason I log in. There's a reason for me to go to an asteroid and mine it. Obviously, this is all ties in with economy and crafting, base building. Having been playing Dune Awakening, I almost said Dune Online. Been playing Dune Awakening a lot, I feel like everything I do in that title matters. There's a reason behind what I'm doing. If I pick up that weed on the ground, there's a purpose for me picking up that weed because I can use that in a crafting recipe. I get points to pick
Okay.
it up. It's just all stupid little stuff like that, but it makes your in-game activity meaningful. In other words, you're not just chasing your tail, going from planet to planet, warping here, warping there, just for the elevator to kill you or some hacker to fucking strip you naked or all that kind of nonsense. But at the end of the day, make the game meaningful. And this is not going to happen overnight because you have to have reasons to be doing stuff. Obviously you have the reasons. They're getting closer to that with these missions where you have to get the worm teeth, the fangs, the pearls, and all this stuff, and you have to fight for it. That's a step in the right direction, I think. But of course, there's a lot of issues in some, like the times I have participated in that. Believe it or not, I took a break from Dune and played a round or two in those missions. And to me, they were kind of hack jobs, man. It was just most of the time I spent covering a med bed, so people who were spawning it, I'd kill them instantly. That's just that kind of gameplay is just terrible.
You didn't like the worm?
The worm was fine, but like obviously there were players that were hacking or using like reshade to have like night vision because we were ducked behind a boulder in complete dark shadow. Tab wasn't with us with his glowing helmet at the time, so they couldn't see him. But all of a sudden, they laser focused in on us from 200 meters away. So that tells me that they were using like something like reshade. They could just see us. It was like daylight for them, even though we were coping with nighttime, rain. Visibility is crap. It's lightning, thunder. The only time you could see anything when there was a flash of lightning. That's great. I love that part, but I didn't love the part where somebody could just fucking pick me out of in the darkest shadow. That's bullshit. But again, I'm sure that'll get solved eventually. But as to the survey, I think the survey is a good thing overall. I don't think you should look at it as it being misguided from CIG. I think them wanting to get your temperature as a player is a great thing, and I think everybody should participate in that because this is obviously you're doing it on Twitch openly, but for most people it's just going to be them and the survey, and they can answer however they want and give their feelings. And it's unadulterated information from one person's perspective, and you don't have to follow anything. It's just you and the survey. You give your 2 cents and you're done, and they can quantify that information however they want, use it however they want. But I think any amount of data or information that they can garner from the player base, hopefully answered authentically, will be helpful.
I agree. I like that. I like your take on that for sure. So for now, Wicket, you took the survey.
Mm-hmm.
Drag to rank the in-game activities you would do, even if they paid nothing.
Temporary sandbox and ship combat.
So did everybody put temporary and sandbox in their top?
I think
4?
I did sandbox and top and then temporary, but yeah, because those are the
Yeah.
most fun. Those are the those activities, the sandbox activities and the temporary activities, those are like the most fleshed out. Most they've received the most developer attention. It seems like, especially as of late, and they're the most fun game loops that you can have.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think
They-
so. I mean, even on number 4, we have sandbox and temporary there for our favorites. So
If it wasn't for those, I would probably not have put in the many hundreds of hours that I put into the game.
yeah, I remember Siege of Orison, dude,
That
or
was fun.
whatever.
You know what?
That
That
was so
never
much
even
fun.
fucking worked for me. It never worked. Every single time
Same.
the elevator was broken, and I've never actually done the event.
Wow, you have
That's
some
sad.
trauma.
It's when it worked,
I
it
couldn't
was
make.
fun.
I couldn't make that work either. Yeah, I remember that one. Just had bad
Yeah, I've
luck
heard
with
great
it.
things. Never got it to work.
Like
Well-
like Xenothreat when that was one of our only events where you had to take your ship and get the prolamide or whatever, all the blue, the green, and the yellow boxes, and take them back to the javelin to refuel it and all. That was awesome, man. That
Yeah.
was that when it worked and it worked properly. That was such a fun time, even with the people coming into PvP. On a lot of cases, when that happened, a lot of the players that were there to do the missions, they'd gang up on the PvPers.
Oh
It
yeah.
was fun. It was
Yeah, the
fun.
performance was horrible. Server would crash all the time. Missions would
Sometimes
break, but
the
when it
funny
worked,
thing is, Hobo, when the first or second iteration of them, I think it was the second iteration, it worked great. It
Yeah.
really did.
eventually.
Yeah. That was my 3.14 was when I came into the game, and that was my first
This was
mission. I
like-
was flying in a hurricane with somebody at that.
I'm
event,
thinking
and
more
that- I
like
was sold.
3.15 is when it really worked great for me back in those.
No, didn't they do it? They did it recently, like 2
Yeah,
or 3
but
patches ago.
it worked like shit.
Oh,
Half the
maybe.
time the ships weren't spawning. It got
Maybe.
worse.
All right, so
And I think it comes down to that's kind of you know how they're trying to rewrite the transit system, which includes trams, shuttles, and elevators, because that's all legacy code that doesn't work in their structure anymore. And
right.
so I'm thinking some of those old missions like that, probably the same thing. They're going to have to be rejiggered to work properly in the new structure of how the game back end works. But I
So,
may be
dude,
wrong.
no, in light of that, since we're talking about the economy, you know who you haven't seen from was Tony Z. So I'm thinking like all that stuff from 10 years ago or whatever just doesn't exist anymore.
That's
Well,
my
we haven't heard
fear.
anything about it. Well, I don't know if it should be
But-
a fear. I mean, if it got left on the cutting room floor, maybe there's a reason.
Right.
Yeah, that's true
Yeah.
too.
The reason
right.
is because they didn't have ChatGPT and Claude to help them code it quick enough.
Maybe.
Could have been. I'm making a never mind. We'll talk about it later. Next show. Tav, we're not ready for this conversation.
Right.
You ain't ready for this, Tav.
You ain't ready for this, Tav. Tav, ready.
Yeah.
You ain't seen nothing yet. So drag to rank the in-game activities you would do, even if they paid nothing. What's at the bottom of our list?
I
Free
mean, I have
trading,
mine,
because it
but
doesn't make any sense to do that if you're not making money.
Free trading. I put that at the bottom of my list because
Yeah.
I was like, why? Yeah.
Arguing on
funny-
global.
The funny thing is about free
That's free.
trading. Free trading used to make a shit ton of money. It was like one of the easiest ways to make money. But everybody started understanding what the loop is, because it's the same loop over and over and over again. And then the resources started drying up. So you'd have to stand in line waiting to be able to purchase any quantities to make enough money to make it worthwhile. So that's probably the shittiest way to make money now.
Yeah, because they implemented the supply side without doing anything with the demand side. So prices don't change, but the supply does.
Yeah, the lack of
It's
being able to purchase
terrible.
anything it's god awful.
So Tav, do you have any adjustments you want to make to number 6 here?
oh, I'm weird. I have personal ones. I mean, I don't care for it all for the mining salvage. That's just the last thing. I mean, I'd rather just cruise and holding missions before that. But
All right, I'll drop it for you.
yeah, it's personal. It's personal. So I know some people absolutely love it. So
This should be
it's not my
Tav's
bag.
answers. If it's his,
Yeah.
you
Well,
Yeah,
Tabs
should-
is I'm waiting Tabs more.
We're collective.
Well,
Tab
all right.
forfeited.
this should be
Tab
one-
forfeited the
this-
right to Tab's own answers when Tab became Tab.
You're-
2 minutes
That's very
before the
good.
show started, when I told Tav we were doing this, he forfeited his right.
yeah, I was like, survey.
So much time for an appeal.
I was like, "Oh, you didn't do it yet? Great."
It works.
No,
Now we can do it together.
But Tav obviously has final say. So
On to question 7.
on to question 7, rewards. Yeah, the question is just
Yeah,
rewards.
this part I didn't even look at. So
Okay, rewards provided for completing missions. It's asking you, are the rewards providing for completing missions much too low, too low, fine, too high?
Fucking hell! What the hell?
way too high, but I want everybody to suffer. Only, I don't know. That sounds wrong too. But I just think they're pretty high.
You think the rewards provided for completing missions are too high?
Well, just with the general state of things, like, if I
Yeah.
can buy a really nice, weapon and a nice suit of
fuck.
armor, and I can get fully kitted for what, 10K? I mean, even now that we don't even risk losing the armor, the currency just feels even more inflated. So maybe it's just me and my perception of where the currency is right now. But I just feel like getting 150K for a mission or something is like a lot. I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah, it's
But-
a lot of money. Unless you're like
Mm.
killing an Idris, I suppose.
Yeah, because the ships themselves. I mean, I bought like an X-85. I mean, granted, that's all tiny ships, but and the ships do scale pretty aggressively in terms of price. But
I
a
was-
couple missions, good paying missions with a crew. I feel like you can a day maybe you can pick up a ship easily. Maybe it's that
I
way
was-
by design. Maybe that's good. I mean, maybe I don't want there to be a grind. Maybe I should, I immediately see the bad side of.
It should be a grind.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's saying what I say. I kind of make it
Let's-
suffer a little bit,
I always look at this from the point of view of what's the most expensive stuff in the game, and currently those are ships, right? And for your average player, just think about it. The way I always thought about this type of question is, for your average player, most players are probably going to be dads, or they have significant others, or they have responsibility. They're not going to be able to sit here for hours on end, but they may have an hour or two a night to play, and in that time, how much should they be able to make money wise to put towards that expensive ship?
I guess that's really the truth with the time of the matter. Not the more I think about it, because if you really only have amount of time, I guess you do need the missions to be. Because
They
even
need to be
doing one,
rewarding.
I mean, it's I mean, just to get saddled up. I mean, popped in with a buddy, with the other day, and it's, you spend 20, 30 minutes, and then there's.
Just
Oh
think
gosh,
about it.
do we server hop? Like that whole conversation?
Yeah.
Like,
Just to get it going, sometimes it could be a half an hour, 45 minutes before you even attempt the first mission because of all.
I forget what I said. Maybe the prices are fine.
I think I
Maybe
said
they're-
they were fine. That one,
Mm.
they used to be worse in my opinion. Used
Yeah.
to pay a lot worse, and it made missions feel pointless because you'd have to do them again and again, and it just didn't matter.
Before the price increases on chips happened a couple of patches ago, I would have said that it was too high. But now with the prices of ships being what they are in game, I think they're fine.
Okay, I'm leaning more to the too high as well. Anubis, what do you think? All right, I think Anubis got attacked.
I'm
by his
sorry about
dog or
that.
Something.
No, I'm here.
Last thing I heard from you was, "Oh shit! Oh shit!"
Yeah. So I mixed two different types of spray paint together because I'm trying to blend them to get a particular metallic coat. And fun thing about like actually taking spray paint out of a can and putting it in a jar, it's a lot like soda, except on crack. So I was watching it bubble, and okay, it's foaming up a little bit. That's fine. I stuck a little stick in it to give it a little stir, and the damn thing just went off like Krakatoa. Vesuvius. It was insane. Like, it
All
just
right, well, we'll skip your vote for this one, I suppose.
what?
Oh
Are you treating me like Tav? I don't get a say.
no!
Oh,
You gotta what do you think about the rewards for completing missions?
I think that
Are they too low,
yeah,
too high, fine?
I think they're fine right now because of the time investment, like Wicked's saying. I just
Okay.
am hoping for the day when a ship isn't the only thing you're going for, when things are more expensive than a ship and they're more valuable for certain reasons than a ship.
All right. So we're gonna go with fine because everyone said fine. These next three, I wanna pop through these as quick as we can. So potential rewards for free trading.
Much
Uh,
too low.
Much too low, Tav?
Yes. Yep.
Wicket, Anubis?
Low, too low.
Very, very
Too
low.
low.
Yeah.
Okay. Rewards for mining. The potential rewards for mining. How do we feel?
Yeah, too low.
Too low.
I don't know enough info to comment on that
I don't
one.
There's
know.
there's a lot of time spent to get set up to go mining and to do mining and to find mining
Yeah, but we
then you
make a
have to
lot of
wait.
money mining.
Yeah,
But
but then
then
you
the
have to wait
refining
for
too.
the
Yeah.
refining costs money. The refining takes a lot of time. I mean,
Yep.
it's a long drawn out process.
Interesting.
It's an afternoon activity, not a I mean, it's like an all day off entire afternoon activity, not an evening. I got home, want to relax a while
You're not
activity.
you're not going to pop in for an hour to go mining. If you're going to go mining, you're going to dedicate some time to it, and
Well,
that
I
should be
pop in for an hour to go mining, but I'm in my when I log out, I'm in my prospector and I'm in space, dead space.
Yeah,
So when
so
I log back in, I'm
you're
right
not
there.
really
I mean,
you're harvesting rocks. You're not doing the whole mining loop,
sure I am.
are you?
Yeah, I
You
bring
have
it back, I
taken them to
refine
harvest.
it.
Did you refine it?
Of course I do. And then there's the next time I play, I just go grab it when it's convenient for me to go grab it.
Oh, so you
I
are
guess if
so
it's the only thing you're doing, then okay.
You
But
know,
what
like
They
I
about
have
the
log
been
in.
payout?
changing.
But the thing is, if I'm mining for like days
Mm,
because you're right, because the setup is such like kind of a pain that I'm like, all right, I'm out in space with my
well,
prospector. Next time I log in, I'm gonna just do that game loop, and I can do it
this
for an hour or whatever.
this goes back to a couple of like temporary missions that we had when we had that event where you could mine and get a shitload of money for completing the mining missions. Uh, Basically makes all other mining that you can do nowadays pale in comparison.
Right.
Because the payout sucks. I
Yeah,
think
the
that was the
payout is terrible.
core point we were trying to get at.
Yeah,
So the next one is I'm gonna put too low for mining. Okay, 'cause I think they're fine, but I'm with you guys. I'll put too low. The potential rewards for salvage.
I think that's fine.
I said too low.
No,
Anubis.
it's easy to do.
you know, it's mind numbing, and if I'm going to be doing something that boring, I would like to be able to earn more money because then at least it feels fine. Kind of like mining in Elite Dangerous. Boring as all heck.
Too low. See, I think all the rewards are too high. I like this across the board here. I'd like all these to be moved over one to the right, where like I just want more. I think more grind is better because not everyone should be able to work their way to a Polaris. That's ridiculous and stupid.
Yeah, but to get to a Polaris would take, unless it's a group doing it, and then the group who's going to be the owner, and that opens up a whole But a solo single player to get to a Polaris, that's an achievement.
Years. You should have to play for years. 2 years.
Oof.
I don't think so.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
So
that's
Anyway.
that's kind of hard.
yeah, it's fucking hard shit, dude. Hard game.
Okay, well, Star Trek Online does a similar system where you can buy the ships. They're a lot cheaper, like $30. And they have certain things that you can take and apply to other ships, but you can also earn things that you would pay for by completing certain things throughout the year. You have to participate in all the events. You have to do this, and I think a year is. I mean, I wouldn't say 2 years, but a year of dedication, making sure that you're doing your dailies and things like that. I could see that.
Yeah. it's supposed to be a long-term game, so things should take long. And if you think about like life, like how long do you have to save up for anything? Fucking
80
years.
years.
Yeah,
Or you can just
an
go to a
entire
play
lifetime.
store.
Or you can just, but that's a different breed, you know.
Mm.
All right, these next few guys, there's a lot of them here, so we're gonna pop through these. Okay, we're just gonna go around, and each person is gonna say much too low, fine, too high, much too high, or no opinion. We're talking about the prices of things. So, how are the prices of FPS weapons? Hobo,
Fine.
Drake,
Fine.
Anubis,
Too low.
Wicket.
Fine.
I think fine's good. Ammunition. Hobo,
Fine.
Tav,
Fine.
Anubis.
Way too low compared to what the guns cost.
Interesting. Wicket fine. We're gonna put fine.
I would also,
Anubis
I
on
mean,
the low
yeah,
end so
compared to
far.
the guns cost, I would also, yeah, it does too. Anyway, keep going.
How do you feel about the prices, the in-game prices of ships and vehicles? Hobo,
Too low.
Tav,
Too low.
Anubis,
Too low.
Wicket.
Way too high.
The ships are way too high.
Yeah.
You're way out. You're way out of the crowd with this one, dude.
Well, if you can buy it with cash money in the real world, then you're forcing people to, pay these exorbitant prices. I think they're too low. They're too high.
The prices of ships are too high in the game because people have to pay. I understand.
Well, if you want to make it an
my
even playing
socialist heart.
field,
Yeah.
if you want to make it an even playing field.
Very interesting. That's a
That's
very
true.
interesting take,
That's
dude.
true. Yeah.
I don't know how to feel, but I'm gonna stick with too low because you haven't quite changed my mind. But you're making me think. If everyone changes their mind, speak now. Okay.
Nope.
The prices of ship or vehicle weapons.
They're swipers. They're never going to change.
Hobo.
Low.
Too low. Tav.
It's fine.
Fine. Anubis.
Too low.
Wicket.
Fine.
We're gonna go with fine because Tav's has double the weight of everybody. Prices of ship and vehicle consumables. The price of Cruz Lux.
Much too low.
Much too low.
Yeah.
Much too low.
There's
Anyone?
like no pain.
Yeah,
The
much
fuel.
too
There's
low.
no pain point to flying
Okay.
somewhere, and
Okay.
that would
Yeah,
increase.
exactly.
That
It's true. It's basically free, honestly.
Yeah.
Consumables
I mean-
are basically free.
I mean, if we're going to be talking about that, like the price of Cruz Lux, we do need to note that these days are tough. The economy's down, ASOP's down, and even regen. When everything seems to be down, you can count on Cruz Lux to pick you up. With 20% slam by volume, Lux gives you the power to push past the hard parts and make this day your day. Cruz Lux, give no fucks.
Give no
Please drink
fucks.
responsibly. Your clone must be 20 minutes or older. Not legal on Monarchs or Aberdeen.
Anubis, how do you feel about the price of ship, vehicles, and ordnances? Missiles and torpedoes and shit.
That one's hard because when you're talking 36 mil for like outloading an Idris,
Fine.
Perfect. Perfect.
yeah, it's imbalanced. Yeah, it's fine.
Perfect. Tav?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Fine.
All right. Prices of clothing.
Who
The
cares?
what?
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Okay. Prices of commodities.
Way too low. Needs to go way higher.
Interesting.
Commodities. That would be Cruz Lux.
I would
All
say
right.
the exact opposite, but
So, question number 9 in the survey, they want to know about your favorite loot items.
That's
I
it
guess
right there.
These are things you're going to find in the trash. I've automatically put commodities to number 1.
No, it should be
No.
number 7. Should
I'm
be
sorry.
number 1.
Consumables. I've automatically put consumables
Yes,
to number 1.
very good,
Cruz
very
Lux.
good.
Okay, I understand. I knew what was happening. Tav, anything on this list that you want to
My
move around?
favorite would be FPS attachments,
Okay.
but that's probably just me again.
Well, that's my top 2 or 3 FPS attachments.
Yeah, it's always my favorite to find those. And then you get that cool little laser sight in different colors, and then it doesn't work. But
Yeah,
it's
cool.
fun finding it.
Yeah, it was definitely high on my list. That with FPS weapons and armor and ship components are really cool. Well, they used to be before they kind of got thrown off the deep end for reasons.
All right. Tab, anything else you want to switch from number 9?
Now we're good.
All right. Question number 10. How long should a system-wide event affect the in-game economy after its conclusion?
Forever.
How? By what metric? How do you measure that?
I know. I had the same problem with this question because if it's, I want the economy by dynamic, so forever, but at the same time, a dynamic
Forever,
economy will bounce back eventually anyway, so like a week.
forever until something else affects it, and then that's forever until something. It's cause and effect. That's why I say it
I
forever.
don't think that's how forever works, but the question is pretty bad
Well,
anyway.
Well,
how?
no, that's what they mean, right? Obviously, like if I drop off too much gold,
It's a
to-
dumb question, but the only real way to answer that would be forever until something else is the new forever, until something else changes the state. In other words,
Right.
you know, somebody finds a giant patch of quantanium. Now they've loaded up the market, so now that's the new forever. Or somebody finds a bunch of gold, or whatever the case may be, and that now, or there's a new event that floods the market with Idris engine parts or some shit. Who knows? I mean, I'm just making up random bullshit right now, but you get the point.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, looking at that, I mean, the way that's worded, it's kind of like, okay, how long? I mean, should people be flush with cash? You know, like doing the delivery missions and making 100 million, making 120, things like that. How long? You know, because does that change the way people play? Are they not engaging in certain things? And I get that part, but like, how would they fix that? You know, and what would they do to make sure that they hit that target of 6 months, that it's only going to affect things for 6 months or a month? Like, do they have balances in play, or are they going to wipe?
That's too much control on that's not an economy. That's basically almost like
Yes.
socialism or communism.
No.
Yeah, some kind of ism.
No.
It should be forever until something else is the new forever, until there's a new driver, you know. But you have, in order for something like that to even work, you have to have sinks and faucets, sinks and faucets. You got to have someone,
Exactly.
you know, and then a new faucet comes along and the forever has changed to something else, or a new sink has come along and so it's constantly, the forever is always changing, but it shouldn't be, it shouldn't be artificially like, okay, a new event comes along and now let's say Karna ammunition, let's say Karna is still a good gun, and let's say Karna ammunition is now $1,000 per clip,
Mhm.
for whatever reason, and now something comes along that makes the you know, all of a sudden there's a run on Karna ammo, and everybody's trying to sell their Karna ammo because it's selling for so much. But then in a week's time, somebody realizes, oh, the Karna sucks. The C54 is the good weapon to have. So now nobody's buying Karna ammo anymore, so the price automatically goes back down. It shouldn't
Yeah,
be
meta chasing.
it shouldn't be artificially changed after a given amount of time. It should just be organically and change on its own based on market factors and the system
Yeah.
as a whole. So forever is the answer.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking that they're asking, hey, when should we implement
Never.
things that well, no, I mean, like you're saying, when should they implement a sink to help start draining that excess cash
It
that
should
has been
snatch.
accumulated?
They shouldn't implement anything. It should naturally occur. In other words, a new event happens, or there's a new economic driver that causes it to organically change. but
No,
not
that's what I
necessarily
mean.
somebody doesn't come along and fix the price that, okay, Karna ammo isn't 1,000 anymore, now it's 250. That should never
Yeah,
happen after 6 months or a week or whatever. It should be forever at 1,000 until nobody's buying it and it comes down naturally.
yeah, and I'm thinking of things like power play, like they had an Elite, where there's literally no reason why I should fight for this system to be under one power or another. But being able to now claim it for them and sink those resources in is kind of the things I'm thinking of that they would implement. And are they looking to see how often they space those things out with this question is what I'm asking. That's that's the only thing I can think of.
Anubis,
You're
hold
looking-
that thought on Elite, because that's I actually mentioned that game in this survey at the end, and that's how I was thinking also, like, about this question too. I don't know. For me, you kind of nailed it. Tav, it is your survey. Question number 10: how long should a system-wide event affect the in-game economy?
Oh, I mean, I'm kind of with you on the forever, right? I mean, that's ideally forever, but I know there's balance issues, and
So, Tav, number 11: do you currently engage in or have interest in free trade using your own UEC to buy goods at one
yes,
location and
I
sell them for
absolutely
profit
do.
at
I
another?
have interest. Yeah.
Does anyone not?
No.
Easy peasy.
I don't care until it actually matters.
Yeah.
Right. That's the other part of this. So, when trading, how do you balance risk and profit potential? This could be an interesting one. Let's start with Hobo here.
Oh, this is different. They updated the survey. This was not on my survey.
No?
No,
So,
they
when
updated the survey
trading,
at some point.
how do you balance risk and profit potential? Do you strongly prefer safe and low profit routes? Somewhat prefer safe and low profit routes? No preference? Or somewhat prefer riskier routes? Or strongly prefer risky high profit routes?
I have a dumbfounded look on my face for a couple
To
reasons.
gank or
One, this
not
was
to gank?
it's like
Yeah.
I would probably take the somewhat prefer safe low profit routes, I guess.
Interesting. Tav, what do you do?
I'm just on the other side of that, no preference, but somewhat prefers risky, high profit.
Interesting. Anubis and Wicket?
I'm strongly prefer risky, high profit routes. There's a whole reason now to fly with friends and share
Some
the
of
Yeah,
rewards.
exactly.
Yep. Some of the most fun I've had was being completely loaded up with way too much money on my ship and getting pulled out of warp. They disable me, they actually board me and shoot me, man. Shoot me FPS as I'm trying to get away from them. That was fun. And that is, if I'm gonna lose things, I'd rather lose it to that than a glitch. So
How much fun have we had over the years heading down to Brios to drop
Mhm.
off XYZ to sell at the kiosk and all the shenanigans that came out of that.
Oh yeah.
That's high risk, high reward.
All right. I'm actually with Hobo on this. So I'm gonna stick with Tav's answer. Okay, because it's his. So Tav said somewhat risky, high profit routes.
Yeah.
Question 13. This one threw me for a loop. Okay.
This is different too. I didn't have this one.
Really? Okay.
Nope.
I didn't have this
Interesting.
whole page.
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
What is the most profitable commodity for you to trade among the following? Osoian hides? I don't know what
I
that
have no
is.
idea what that is.
Does
That's pretty
anyone?
screwed up stuff. Yeah.
It's a cargo container that comes on the ships, the NPC cargo carriers, and you could take it to sell. It used to be super high value.
It's
Interesting.
it's their skins, but that species is sentient or sapient. Sorry.
Oh, really?
It's yeah, it's really bad.
Ooh,
What? I've never seen these in the game. Osoian hides. So they're like this is like some
They're like on.
slaver
They're like
skin
aren't the
lamp.
hides a tier above the weevil eggs? as far
I
as
wouldn't
price.
know.
Yeah,
I've seen them.
yeah. They're
They're
one of the more
very
expensive
rare.
ones.
They're very rare. I hardly ever saw those back in the day.
What's an
when we were-
Osoian look like?
They wear purple.
A multi-limbed insectoid race, and they use pattern flashes of color to communicate. And yeah,
Well, the wiki
that's-
says Osoians are covered in a coarse, spiky fur to catch water. To counteract the planet's high gravity, its powerful legs are the species' largest appendage. They connect to the body at what would be the shoulder on a human. 4 arms extend from the torso, the top 2 much more developed than the lower pair, like Sebulba, right?
yeah.
Like Sebulba from Star Wars. They have 6 eyes of varying sizes on an almost bug-like head. They're the Sebulbas. That's great. Well, fuck Sebulba. So
And they've
I don't
been
know.
skinned and put in a cargo container, and now you can loot it.
Yeah. I don't know anyone else from Sebulba's race, so it's
They're
Those
Doug.
shame on
Slemos.
me.
The racist
Yeah.
is Doug.
Dugs.
D-U-G.
Doug. Yeah, the
Dugs.
Doug. All right. So, what's the most profitable commodity for you to trade among the following? So, they're asking us. So, it's obviously Osoian hides, but nobody knew this. This is such a weird question. Because wouldn't they know what's the most profitable commodity? Like,
Maybe
what
this
is
is how
this?
they test who's taking the survey.
Again, this is
They'll
this
be like,
is
oh,
where
they don't
they're-
even trade.
This is a temperature check question. It's simple.
I agree with Wicked here. This is not a. They know this. They're just judging what
There's
we
not a
know.
right or a lot of
Yeah.
these are. There's no right or wrong.
This one is, though.
answers.
This one definitely has a right answer.
Yes.
Yeah. So I didn't answer this one. I skipped these the next
mean,
one too.
I mean, honestly, like they should just know to just improve that part too for players to be aware of these things themselves. And they've made strides in it, but like I don't see how this is relevant.
Hobo,
I mean,
you
that's
didn't
the
have
next
any of these
question.
questions, didn't you?
I didn't have these at all.
I didn't either.
That's wild.
Mm.
Maybe they're adding Osoian hides more prominently in the game.
No, I think they screwed up and the initial link was incomplete, and they completed it
Yeah.
because it's the same link.
Yeah.
I guess you could do the survey again.
How did you determine the above selection is the most profitable? So we're saying Osoian hides are the most profitable because they are. Now, how did we determine that? By checking
you
the
asked
trading
other
information? By asking other players. We asked other players.
We literally did this in right now. So
I decided it myself. Universe bends to my will.
So 15 is drag and rank the following features in order of importance for a shop kiosk, an item kiosk or shop, from most important or least important. I guess for it to have in stock.
oh god, price trends. Like price needs to change.
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly, price is such an important part of an economy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What about buy sell locations?
Best buy list, I put that like, yeah, I think you got to get something like that up in there. You know,
Up in number 2?
I put it high up there just because not everybody knows to like. The game doesn't tell you to get on. I don't know what's the all the various Star Citizen apps to look at the prices of. It'd be nice to have
Right,
some of that
yeah.
information in the game.
It'd be cool if
like-
one of those economy boards with all the charts and numbers on it had actual charts and
Yeah.
numbers. Yeah.
And you should be able to search for even a commodity that's not sold at that location, not just be able to see where it sells more or less, but like also you could see things that aren't sold there. So you go, oh crap, I'm at the wrong place. Where is it? And you could be able to search that in game.
So what are
That
our
would be
2 on the
great.
bottom here?
Mm.
These are all
I mean, I
pretty
don't care about
important.
item popularity yet. Yeah, that'll
Recent
work.
transactions.
Sure.
Put that at the bottom. Like
Okay. So drag and rank the following features in order of importance for an admin commodity trading kiosk. From an admin. So this is different. It's an admin, but when I answered this, I just copied what I did on the above question.
I would just copy the same thing, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will just copy what we did there.
Best Buy
stuff
locations.
was our first one. Price trends is number 1. There we go. All right, so we're almost done with the survey. We have 3 questions left on the Star Citizen Economy Feedback Survey. I want to thank you all for coming in and joining Open Comms Radio and helping us answer this. And if you're out there and you haven't answered this survey, go answer it. All right? Go do a favor. Wicket was right. They're asking for your opinion. I mean, come on. You're going to write it on Spectrum or Open or whatever was it, Blue Sky. God forbid you're on the other platforms.
Other one.
By the way, Tav, I want to talk to you. I think we should start posting this on Rumble.
No. No.
Truth social.
No.
Or Truth.
God, no.
I just think we would be well received.
I will boycott the show.
Larger
Listen. Never mind. I'm not even going to say.
You know what? It's a Star Citizen podcast. I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry. Okay. Number 17. Which of the following ways should other players' actions influence prices in in-game shops for all players?
This is a dumb question by them.
It's a check mark box, so you can check them all or uncheck them all. So which of the following ways should other players' actions influence the prices in in-game shops? Should piracy influence the prices? Should free trading? Should loot and salvage? Should system-wide events? Should hauling?
Yes.
I mean,
Maybe not so much on hauling missions. That's the only one I didn't check.
Really?
No, I think it should.
Elite Dangerous. We can talk about it now. This is the moment.
You flood that station. You flood that station with like a whole bunch of intrusion toxin, and the price goes down.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
totally.
Of course. It's...
Oh yeah. But missions. I'm talking about like the missions that everyone has to take.
I think even those
as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, what's the point of it? Because you get the mission because there's no medical supplies on Port Tressler, and Port Tressler needs them. So you get a delivery to send medical supplies. Somebody buys all of the, Cruz Lux on Port Tressler, right? And then they're like, then an order automatically goes out for a shipment of Cruz Lux to Port Tressler, and you have to deliver them.
Yeah. If we're talking that way, sure.
18. Drag and rank the following ways you'd be most excited to spend excess in-game UEC from most appealing to least appealing. So, how do you want to spend your UEC in-game? On survival mechanics? On unlockable experiences? They say like missions, locations, narrative content. On skins? On luxury or novelty items like rare collectibles, branded goods, or vanity items? Or would you want to spend your UEC on emotes and social gestures? Let's start with Hobo. What's your top 2?
My top 2 were unlockable experiences and skins and visual customization.
Interesting. Tav, what are your top 2?
I go with that exact same top 2.
Anubis?
Yep.
And Wicket?
Emotes and social gestures.
That's in your top 2?
No.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness, dude, because that was my bottom.
That was my bottom also. Total at the very bottom.
I think I put, if I remember correctly, I put in skins first and novelty, luxury or novelty items the second.
Yeah. So I swapped luxury, novelty items, and skins. I had luxury and novelty items as second, and skins as fourth because, I don't know. I just feel like once I get the skin I want, I'm not going to change it.
That's fair.
Well, what if something better, new that you like better comes along?
Yeah, maybe, but that doesn't happen often. Like
But
just
it
in my
also included
experience.
base decor and armor.
Yeah, base decor. Maybe I just didn't read it.
I think where a lot of these games really miss the mark as far as skins go is skins are kind of meaningless because they're all the same. Once you have that one skin that everybody has it, how unique are you anymore? Are you going to be unique because you mix and matched it with some other BS? But being able to really customize skins, that to me would be like the holy grail because people will fight over shit like that. you just look at our Discord, how many people post what their shit looks like and their their character looks like and stuff. People really dig that kind of stuff.
Vinyl decals of your org on your armor. Like you got 9 tails, right? Cool, we're 10 tails. Here, look, boom.
Well-
You could put it on your armor.
Yeah,
Well,
but that shit you buy once.
what I'm thinking is like, the armor kind of is all same, but what if you could mix and match color swatches on different parts of the armor and modify it that way, so you could come up with unique looks. Somebody may come along and copy it, but initially it's your look.
I mean, that's
mean-
cool. I'd like to do it.
I mean,
But I
they're
don't-
trying to make GTA Online in space, so why not have low Stanton customs?
They have, isn't it Cousin Crows? They have it.
They got Cousin Crows.
Yeah.
But
There's always a ship inside of Cousin Crows that's like up on blocks getting worked on.
So we're coming to the end of this survey. We're coming to the end of this show. It's our last question. And the last question they gave us was an open-ended question. It's tell us your ideal Star Citizen fantasy. And then in parentheses, it says NSFW.
Can I
Yeah.
say what I came up with? I wrote it down. I have it ready to go.
Okay, I'm here for it. Yeah, go for it.
All right. So what I wrote was complete and total immersion. No need for third-party apps. In-game voice and chat features keep me in the game and everything works. Seamlessly coordinate with my guild to organize and deploy multiple teams across our area of operation. Harvest and collect resources that allow us to build our home in the verse and defend it against all hostiles. Make everything we do in-game matter and meaningful to some extent. And I put as an aside, look at games like Dune Awakening. While DA doesn't have near the fidelity of SC, it's extremely fun to play. Feel like everything I do in that game matters. I want to be clear. Dare I say, I need to log into DA Dune Awakening, while SC is currently an afterthought. That's what I wrote in that spot.
I don't have the same. I haven't played as much Dune as you, but I don't have the same opinion that I don't feel like everything in Dune is meaningful. We can talk about that later, but I wouldn't want them to just make like a, because Dune's it's a good survival game.
But that's because you've avoided most of the game.
That's right. I've avoided a lot of it. Yeah.
So that's why you feel that way.
I might. Yeah. That's fair. Okay. I'm 100% with you, dude. On that. That's close to kind of the vibe I had. Anubis,
I mean, let's face it. The Star Citizen has some of the best game fidelity that is currently available out there.
No question.
And if we can leverage some of these other things from other experiences that I've had recently, it would be like I would have no reason to go anywhere else. That's all I'm saying. Sorry. Go ahead, Anubis.
my ideal Star Citizen fantasy? So there I was on the bridge of the Idris. We had just taken it after Xenothreat, right? And Rowena Dooley walks in and she's like, I gotta thank you for how much you've helped Stanton, right? And we just lock eyes, we just that the connection,
Looking right where this is going.
The question involved UEC and if you had all the items. Just to put some guide rails on that.
If I had everything,
He wants to have a romance under duress. Okay, moving on.
No, I mean, if I had everything, I mean, it comes down to PvP at that point, because right now having everything, I mean, that's all you can do if you don't want for anything. It's just competition against others. So
That's close to what I sort of put, is that I wanted to build out my own little properties in the org and help others.
Yep.
Tav, what about you? It's your survey.
I just want the exploration. I mean, ideally, it'd be nice to have just to go somewhere, anywhere, or, pick a direction. You see a nebula, a planet, just different stuff and not have it be the event that everybody knows about. Somebody's already been there, run it several times. Just anything. The more organic they can make this game, where you can just hop in and then just discover some crazy stuff would be. That's the
First
dream.
star on the left. Got it.
Ooh,
Exactly.
photo competition with prizes.
They have-
Landscape. I mean, they're not really prominent.
It's Spectrum. It's on Spectrum.
So Tav, I just want the exploration. I want to go somewhere and go somewhere organically.
Yes. I mean, you'll have there'll be. I like the idea of the lawless area. I mean, they've already got kind of the lore there. They just randomize things. I feel like the more random events that you can make, I'm not afraid of RNG if it creates all sorts of different scenarios. So, and they've got some of that. I just think I'm really hoping it's the start or first layer of the onion, so to speak. But we'll see. That we're getting complexity in some of these events. I just want all of it.
All right.
More
Well, I'm going to
game.
submit this on your behalf, Tavros.
Fire away.
You are submitted.
Send.
I hope you feel good about that.
I feel like a participant in the community.
Finally.
What I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what we
Decided
need.
by community.
I think it stays like this where we all shine as star citizens.
Whatever, man. Thanks for the ad read, but
Get out.
all right. Well,
Fine.
that's it for the show. That's it for I've said my piece today. Other than I'm sorry, no, we do have one something to say. And it's from Duke Lato. Oh, I almost forgot this. So Duke Lato said he said it before and he'll say it again. More windows.
Oh yeah, that was I think he referenced what was it, a Reddit post or something? Somebody fixed their what would I say? Which ship
An
was it?
MSR. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think
100%.
Duke's 100 from what I've heard from him, man, if Duke's fantasy is just to have a ship with windows.
I mean, you're
Well,
in a
get a
space game. You
Phoenix.
should be able to see space.
Get a Connie Phoenix man. Join the club. We got windows.
Yeah, but yeah.
More
that's why I
windows
like
in a
that ship.
spaceship is the worst thing you could do. That's just easy point of failure.
No, the windows are structurally more sound than the hull.
Next, you're going to say putting the bridge on the top of the Enterprise, just
Was a
like on a
mistake.
spire, was a mistake. Like,
Yes.
come on now. You're talking
Yeah.
crazy.
You're
That's how
putting
they
it
do
in the
Star
middle
Destroyer.
of the circle. It's like the bullseye. Oh, where do I shoot this ship? It's right there in the middle of the circle.
Sitting out right there. See it?
It's outlined.
That was cool.
Uh,
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was we could call it the big economy show. We won't, but we could.
The gig economy show.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Now at end of shows like these, I like to end it with a little question for all of our guests. Our first guest today was Cosmic Hobo. Cosmic Hobo, is there anything you want to say to CIG, Chris Roberts, or the people on the internet?
I'll keep it themed to the show this time. Please give us a dynamic economy. Please.
Indeed.
Supply demand.
Lord Anubis, anything you want to say to CIG, Chris Roberts, or the people on the internet?
For the love of God, plagiarize Star Wars Galaxy's old economy. Just do it and hurry up. Just Claude or Chat GPT, whatever you use, just do it.
No, don't use Chat GPT.
Everybody does.
That's why shit's not
Just
good.
hallucinate
Anubis.
some bullshit.
Things are not moving forward the way I'd like.
For
So
for programming, it's the only point where it's actually really great because it could take 6 months, turn it into a week.
it really
That's
can.
the only.
Yeah.
Everything else, it just steals humanity. But that particular thing, it's a great tool.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I've been using it for like scripting and stuff. Anyway, whatever. Wicket. Anything you want to say to CIG, Chris Roberts, or the people on the internet?
Yes, of course. Now, I recently watched the ISC, and at the end, they shared their vision for the loot screen and inventory management and all like UI changes. Don't let that take a year or two. That should be implemented like yesterday. Come on, hurry up, please.
Oh,
Please.
can I emphasize? I'm gonna clip that. That needs to be like. I'm gonna clip that. Everyone who hears that, share it, and shout it on the rooftops. 100%.
Last time I did that, I got called the cops on me.
Tav, anything you want to say to CIG, Chris Roberts, or the people on the internet?
You know,
I don't ask you that.
no. Okay, yeah.
No,
I
you
mean,
can answer
we
it, but
can,
like I don't traditionally.
He is asking.
I guess this time.
I feel like ship names. If you sold them in game for alpha AUC, let people name their ships. It would be so cool. Make it a decal on the dang texture, like, and then everybody could name their ship something, and I think that would add a lot to the game.
Like they currently have, where the name is so tiny, you got to be like up eyeball width
Yeah,
apart.
but give it to everybody instead of like the 6 ships it's on now. And if you paid X amount of, real dollars, like just give it to
But you
everybody in
can't
the
even
game
see the name. You
with
have to be
alpha
like
AUC.
you have to be like right on top of the ship to see the name.
Shows up on scans.
Does it? Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, SIG's aversion to allowing people to identify that there is another human that they're playing a massively multiplayer online game with is really crazy, honestly.
They so are missing the boat on ship customizations, armor customizations.
Oh yeah,
they're
they're too busy.
if they want to
making more new
monetize
shit.
shit, that's where they think they made a lot of money on selling ships.
They'll
What
let
a
us pay
Yeah.
to customize them. Yeah.
I mean, you see
Listen,
how Shveet's ship
any
is, has a
gotcha
spray
game,
paint on it.
any gotcha game out there is
Yeah,
perfect
Corsairs.
proof.
Look, man, we can only fucking tell them the obvious so many times.
I think that's the real frustration with this quiz or survey in the end.
Look, Jar Jar's ship has a name. It's called the Joe.
No, that's Shveet's. I don't have a fucking Drake, dude. I don't have.
Fuck Drake.
Fuck Drake. Also, the Drake ships in the game.
Drake. Hold up. Why would you be talking bad about Drake right now?
All right,
You know
Tav,
they're
we
a
did it. That's 22 episodes. Drake's not our
21.
sponsor.
Yeah, they are.
Oh.
They sent over a commercial.
Oh, that was
Did you
Drake.
wash it off first?
No.
Well, Tav, we did it. 22
We did it.
episodes.
21.
It's done.
All right, Tav is.
Thank you,
can
for
play
joining
us out.
us this evening. Dun 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 dun.
Da 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 da.